Kunle, I'm tired. Let's rest a little. I can't run again. I'm tired. Please. Kemi, you need to try. We don't know what is coming, so the sooner I get you out of the village, the better for you and I. Omoriodu, take me instead and save my child. Kemi, thank the gods. You and our baby are safe. Thank the gods, Shola is safe. In the morning, the king woke up to an unbelievable news of his daughter's betrayal, and he was so angry at her and wishes to banish her. However, his daughter Abidemi pleaded for his mercy. She said, "Father, please, have mercy on me. I didn't know what came over me." "How dare you, Abidemi? How dare you lie to me? In my face, I, the supreme Oba Ade. If you, my daughter, can do this to me, what about the common man? You shall be punished for this. This must be a lesson to others as well. If I can punish my daughter, who is any man that I cannot?" And the king ordered that the princess should be locked up as well, and they put her in the same prison as Kunle. Kunle was surprised when they brought Abidemi. He said, "My princess, what are you doing here?" And the princess said, "It's the work of my father, a way of punishing me because I lied about Kemi's pregnancy. And by the way, where is Kemi?" And Kunle felt sad. Immediately the princess asked the question, and he said, "Kemi is safe. I managed to rescue her and our baby out of the village." And Abidemi said in surprise, "The baby? Kemi gave birth?" Abidemi asked in surprise, and Kunle said, "Yes, she has. Her name is Shola. We named her before she was born." And Abidemi said, Thank goodness my friend is okay. Kunle, I promise you this. I will look for her and Shola," Abidemi said as tears was running down her cheek. The next day, a hunter who was looking for bushmeat saw something moving from a short distance, and he thought it was a rabbit, and so he pulled back his bow and set his position at the target he saw, and suddenly he went blind, and he was shouting, I can't see, and as he was shouting, he heard a voice saying,
"You do not point your arrow at the one protected by the gods."
And the man said, "Who is there? Who is talking?" And the voice said,
"I am Omoriodon, the washer of this land, and the protector of the one you were about to kill."
And the man said, I thought it was a bushmeat. Please don't kill me. I didn't know." And the voice continued and said,
"For this action, you shall take the one protected by us into your home. You shall nourish the one until the one have come of age."
And after the voice finished saying those words, it went silent, and the atmosphere was calm. And not just that, the sight of the hunter restored, and the first thing he saw is a child in front of him. The man couldn't believe what he saw in that moment, and the voice that spoke to him. He wanted to run away without taking the child, but he was scared that he would go blind again. A great commandment given to him by the deity Omoriodun. Omoriodun, a forgotten god who is known for its great lust for blood and sacrifice, and because of its lust for blood, it was abandoned by its worshippers and was forgotten until the night Kemi fell in front of it. A being who has done more evil than good. When the hunter carried the child back to his village, his wife was shocked to see him with a strange baby, and she asked him, "Olu, what is going on? Whose baby is that?" And he answered, "I found her alone in the bush when I was hunting, so I brought her home." "What? Who would have abandoned their child alone in the wild?" "I don't know. Let's take care of her, okay? The hunter hid the fact from his wife that it was an instruction given to him by a strange spirit while he was hunting. He knew his wife would be scared if she knew it was a baby given to him by a deity. Olu, my dear, what should we name her? The hunter's wife asked him, and immediately he remembered that he heard Shola coming from the voice that spoke to him, and he said, Let's call her Shola. And so she was called Shola by the man who found her in the bush. However, the name Shola was originally given by her father at the night she was given birth to. And as Shola grew, she learnt the ways of the land. She would spend time in the forest hunting just like Olu, the man who found her. Shola had the resemblance of her mother, Kemi, and it would take someone who haven't seen Kemi before to notice it. And during that time, Kunle was locked up in prison by the order of the king. It was his punishment for trying to help Kemi and the baby flee from the village. The king wanted him to be killed, but Abidemi pleaded for Kunle's life to be spared. She also begged her younger brother Adenike to cover up for her that she is going in search for her friend Kemi. But Adenike was scared because of how their father would react if he finds out. And he said, Abidemi, this thing you are trying to do is dangerous. Father has already forgiven you once, so please do not push him. Adenike, just do what I ask. Eh? My lovely brother, I won't take long. And if father asks, just tell him I went to look for leaves for herbal medicine and I will be back soon, okay? Please be careful. You know how the men who fled the village hates father for what he did, and if they found out you are the princess, he will be in danger. Adenike warned Abidemi, his sister, about their father and also about the men who left the village because of the king's atrocity. But Abidemi still insisted on going to find a friend, Kemi. Abidemi left the village at night when no one was watching, and she passed the ground Kemi was taken, and she camped in the bush that night, and before she slept, she said, Kemi, I hope you are doing okay. I can't wait to see you. I miss you, Kemi. If not for my father, you wouldn't be in this situation. Abidemi said as she weeps. The next morning, Abidemi continued her journey in search of her friend Kemi, while the king was angry because Abidemi did not take permission from him before leaving the village. That morning, Abidemi was passing through the bush when suddenly an arrow flew past her, and she fell to the ground, and another ended by her side, and she was scared, and she thought someone was after her, and she got up and started running like her life depends on it. And while she was running with heavy force, she bumped into Shola, who was hunting that morning, and Shola shouted, Don't you have eyes to watch where you are going, woman? And Abidemi was shocked. Immediately she looked at Shola, and she said, Kemi, is that you? And she hugged Shola tightly without giving her breathing space. And Shola said, Hey, let me go. What are you saying? And Abidemi said, Kemi, look at you. You are okay. Kemi, you are okay. And Shola said, Woman, I don't know what you are talking about. I'm surely not Kemi. Are you lost or something? And Abidemi gazed at her for about 10 seconds while different thoughts was going through her mind. And she said, Oh, now I see it. You look like her, but you are younger. This doesn't make sense. And Shola said, It surely doesn't. And she ran off while Abidemi stretched out her hands and said, What is your name? However, she was gone. Abidemi tried to follow her, but she lost track of Kemi. And when Shola got home that morning, she was confused and was wondering why a strange woman was calling her Kemi. And she began to ask questions that Odu couldn't answer. She said, Father, can someone please explain to me why a strange woman called me Kemi today when I was hunting? And Olu said, What? And at that moment, Olu realized that it was the voice he heard that spoke to Shola. And he asked, What woman? And Shola said, I don't know, Papa, but she called me Kemi. And while Shola and our adoptive father was talking, Abidemi was patrolling in the village Shola was in, and she was talking to herself and saying, She looked like Kemi. I thought she was Kemi. The resemblance was there. But where is Kemi? And so Abidemi walked and walked, but she couldn't find Kemi, and she went back to her village that very day. When Princess Abidemi got to the palace, her brother Adetola started questioning her about her whereabouts, but Abidemi ignored him, and he said, I know, Abidemi, I know you went to look for your friends and our cursed child. But don't worry, when I find them, I shall hand them for the glory of Father Abidemi. I shall hand them for the glory of Father Abidemi. And Abidemi said, Shame on you, Adetola. Shame on you. Why are you following Father's footsteps? Even as the heir of the throne, you should have least be different than Father and hope to be a better king. Just look at you, like father, like son. And while both of them were arguing, their father came out and said, What is going on here? Oh, Abidemi is back. The nonsense child is back. And Abidemi said, Father, and the king said, I have nothing to say to you, Abidemi. For a nonsense child is a nonsense child. A nonsense child is a nonsense child. And the king walked away after saying those words.